Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and thank you for tuning in to Canal Algeria's nightly news. On to the headlines. Providing drinking water and increasing grain storage top the cabinet meeting chaired by Prime Minister Nadir Al-Arbawi. Local associations in France are racing against the clock to mobilize and convince our nationals to ensure the success of the upcoming presidential elections of September the 7th. The humanitarian situation keeps deteriorating in the Palestinian territories amid a suffocating heat wave and harsh living conditions. Besides its enchanting beaches, Vaya province is restoring its patrimony to draw more vacationers and tourists. Welcome back. We begin with tonight's main story where the Premier, Nadir Al-Arbawi, chaired a government meeting devoted to reviewing the different measures taken in implementation of the instructions of the President of the Republic regarding enhancing the supply of potable water and the extent of the implementation of the special program he ordered to alleviate the crisis of drinking water shortages and develop water production capabilities within an ambitious project that aims to respond with sustainability to the needs of citizens and confront water security caused by drought and climate change. The government also studied a number of measures related to embodying the national program to enhance national capabilities in the field of grain storage, as it is one of the main axes of the national policy to achieve food security as decided by the President of the Republic. In the context of simplifying the administrative procedure related to processing and granting construction contracts and ensuring their delivery in the shortest possible time, the government studied a draft executive decree that specifies the methods for preparing and delivering those documents, especially by activating the digital platform for construction contracts and generalizing its use across the national territory. In accordance with the provisions of Article 92 of the Constitution, the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, ordered on June the 20th, 2024, a reshuffle among the ranks of senior officials of the General Directorate of National Security. This movement comes pursuant to the suggestion of the General Director of National Security and with the approval of the Interior Minister. The operation of the withdrawal of the subscription forms of individual signatures for aspiring presidential candidates for the upcoming 7th of September elections are ongoing at the level of the Independent Elections Authority. According to the latest figures, the total number of candidates has now reached 26, be they independent or representatives of political parties. In Créteil, France, Abdelaziz Abderrahman, a dedicated and dynamic individual, plays a key role within the Algerian community. Leading a local association, he works tirelessly to inform and mobilize Algerian nationals ahead of the upcoming elections. Report by Afaf Belhouchet, taken up by Manan Maafa.
Abdelaziz Abderrahman, head of a highly active association within the Créteil Consular District, regularly meets with the Deputy Council to review administrative procedures implemented by the consulate for nationals spread across an area of 22,000 kilometers with an aim to connect them.
We, the association, are right here close to the nationals registered on the consulate or the mosque through the events and meetings we organize.
Since June 12th, these meetings have become weekly. Abdelaziz also organizes gatherings with other associations in nearby towns, aiming to encourage citizens to register on the electoral lists.
I want to explain one thing. If you are registered with the consulate, it does not mean you automatically get to vote. You must be on the electoral rolls. Just like in France, you need to register at the town halls.
For Abdelaziz, the importance of these elections transcends partisan consideration.
Our role is to encourage people to vote. After that, it's their choice, but the most important thing is to feel like a patriotic citizen of Algerian origin.
While the network of associations remains a crucial link in the communication from the Algerian consulate in Créteil, additional measures are being taken locally. This summer, a dedicated desk was set up at the consulate for this operation. Several registrations methods are available at the consulate's headquarters by mail or even via the consulate's email address. This information desk also serves to verify and clean up the electoral rolls, ensuring that every registered citizen can exercise their right to vote on September 7th, provided they are on the list. This voluntary step is each individual's responsibility.
The first group of Algerian pilgrims arrived aboard a plane belonging to the Algerian Airlines company. A warm welcome was reserved to them in addition to a number of facilitations, as we will see with Melissa Kepesh.
تحية الجزائر اليد اليد ايش معها كاش كمال البلاد بلادنا هي اللي راهي واقفة علينا.
After accomplishing the Hajj ritual, the first group of Algerian pilgrims safely arrived and are very thankful for the facilitations granted and the good running of their trip.
كان يعني شعور جميل جدا أجواء روحانية.
A spiritual atmosphere prevailed. May God accept our deeds. Regarding the organization, we have been well taken care of.
النقل كان جميل جدا. نسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى القبول.
ما شاء الله استقبلنا ما شاء
We were well received. They even got us flowers. God bless Algeria.
الله وربي يخليكم لنا إن شاء الله ما قصنا ولا شيء.
Everything was good. We arrived well. Thank God.
عندنا البلاد السلامة إن شاء الله.
May God preserve us and preserve our country. At their arrival, a warm welcome was reserved to them, as well as a number of facilitations, so they can head home as fast as possible and reunite with their loved ones.
We have received 2 flights today coming from the holy shrines. The first one belonging to the Algerian Airlines company with 295 passengers, while the second belongs to the Saudi Airlines with 405 passengers.
Algeria received the Excellence Award Labbaytum when it comes to well-serving pilgrims, thanks to the efforts deployed by the different ministries. Other flights are planned until July the 7th from Jeddah Airport and until the 14th from Medina's airport, knowing that the total number of pilgrims this year has reached more than 40,000 pilgrims, including 23,000 taken in charge by the National Office of Pilgrimage and Umrah and 17,000 by travel agencies.
On to our weekly report about the PNA activities over the past week in terms of fighting terrorism, organized crime and drugs trafficking with Ines Killo.
SA and SSA surrendered in Burj Mukhtar, possessing 2 Kalashnikov machine pistols, large quantities of weapons, ammunition and other items. Similarly, 3 elements supporting terrorist groups were arrested in separate operations across the country. As part of fighting drug trafficking, combined PNA detachments in coordination with the various security services intercepted 28 drug traffickers and thwarted attempts to smuggle 6 quintals and 12 kilograms of treated cannabis from borders with Morocco, while 78,663 psychotropic tablets were seized. In Tamnast, Burj Mukhtar and Janet, PNA detachments arrested 149 individuals and seized 12 vehicles, 66 generators, 51 jackhammers, 3 metal detectors, as well as quantities of mixed raw gold and stones, explosives, detonation tools and equipment used in illegal gold mining operations. Similarly, 12 other individuals were intercepted and 1 Kalashnikov machine pistol, 8 hunting rifles and 12,030 liters of fuel were seized in separate operations across the country. The Coast Guards also thwarted attempts of 58 illegal immigrants aboard home-built boats and arrested 207 illegal others of various nationalities throughout the country.
To the 56th session of the Human Rights Council held in Geneva, on the sidelines of which a conference was organized to review the different mechanisms to protect the Sahrawi activists and condemn the serious violations committed by the Moroccan regime. Melissa Kepesh reports.
The participants of the 56th session of the UN's Human Rights Council reiterated their support for the Sahrawi cause, reflecting the violations committed by the Moroccan occupier and highlighting the necessity to implement their right to self-determination and freedom as the unique settlement to this lasting issue. It is very important to follow the violations committed against the Sahrawi people and human rights activists. We are here to reaffirm our full support to the Sahrawi people.
The international community, especially the United Nations, must pay more attention to the Sahrawi cause, the last colony in Africa, the people of which keep waiting for freedom.
Geneva's event was an opportunity to present the annual report related to the Moroccan violations of human rights within Western Sahara.
Our action supports the Sahrawi people and defends Sahrawi political detainees.
المجموعة بدأت عملها مباشرة بعد استئناف الحرب.
The report was a collective work of a number of human rights activists. It started immediately after the Moroccan occupier breached the ceasefire. The work team gathered the necessary data, namely a number of violations, before transmitting them to the Sahrawi militants, namely the Novak organization and that of ACAPS, who analyzed the data and finally issued the report.
وإصدار هذا التقرير.
The participants also highlighted the importance of human rights and the sovereignty of the Sahrawi people over its territories.
The Zionist entity continues its crimes against the Palestinian people. The bombings do not stop. The Palestinian Central Statistics Office revealed that there are more than 5 million refugees registered within the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestinian Refugees, or UNRWA. Ines Killu has more.
The genocide continues against a defenseless people. 8 months of cruel war were enough to change the fate of thousands of Gazans. In the Nusayrat and Dir al-Balih camps, the Zionist army continues its raids, targeting sites and civilians this time, killing 2 women and wounding more than 10 people in a provisional tool. While civil defense teams continue their work around the clock searching for missing persons under the rubble and on the surrounding roads. On the occasion of the World Refugee Day, which coincides with June 20th of each year, the Palestinian Central Bureau of Statistics revealed that more than 6 million refugees have been registered with the United Nations Relief and Works Agency and UNRWA, 42% of whom come from the occupied West Bank and Gaza Strip.
Since the outbreak of the war, we have been displaced 5 times, and we had to change homes 5 times to go to the neighbors or relatives. We even took refuge in UNRWA schools. When the bombings intensified, we were transferred to Al Mawasi in Khan Yunis, where we lived in tents for about 5 months. And once again, let's leave one more time. And when Zionist army left the area, this is what we found: just ruins instead of homes we used to live in.
ورجعنا لما رجعنا لقينا هذا الدمار الهائل اللي هو بيتنا وبيت أولادي كلهم.
This comes at a time when the Zionist occupation forces arrested 4 Palestinians in different areas of Beit Laham area in occupied West Bank, while dozens of settlers stormed Al-Aqsa Mosque. For its part, the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights issued a report in which he presented 6 major attacks carried out by the Zionist occupation during recent months on the Gaza Strip, considering them repeated violations of war conventions. The High Commissioner for Human Rights also stressed the need to conduct full and independent investigations to ensure the rights of all victims and holding accountable all those responsible for this devastating war.
Besides its enchanting beaches, the eastern province of Vaya is in full restoration of its patrimony to attract more tourists and vacationers likely to flock the region in the few coming days. More details in this field report by Naima Hajj, taken up by Min Al-Maafa.
Rich in history, the ancient city of Vaya opens its doors, 2 in total: the Saracen Gate and the Standard Gate. These gates, along with 7 others, form the city's defensive walls.
Once a fortified city, Vaya was pierced by these gates, and among those still standing today are the Sirazin Gate and the Fuqa Gate. After the 2021 earthquake, which damaged both sites, a rigorous restoration operation was launched. This is the first time that a camera has crossed the threshold of these heritage landmarks. We have 3 main phases: preparatory work, which involves wetting and cleaning the site to protect the monument, followed by restoration work focused mainly on reconstruction the collapsed sections. Today the work is almost over with 95% completion rate.
Similar to Bab al-Bahr, Bab al-Bunud underwent masonry and architectural work, maintaining a consistent work dynamic.
The lower part of Fuqa Gate experienced ground subsidence, which required micro-pile injections to stabilize the soil. This caused the arcs of the gate to quack, necessitating the installation of wooden supports to halt the quacking process.
The cost of this operation is 83 million dinars, and the work is expected to be completed in 5 months. Meanwhile, the intramural city still stands, keeping a watchful eye beyond its walls.
That was all. Thank you and take care.